everybody. Welcome to the last installment of the Lady League until next season, of course. But don't cry. We'll miss you too. And who knows, you might even get a little March Madness special to help you prep for those brackets.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe.
Take
Okay.
that very seriously.
I am RZ. I've got Allie and Dr. Z with me, both in the Midwest. Allie, where are you right now?
I am in beautiful Cedarburg, Wisconsin. I'm in Packer country. There's snow on the ground. I am in heaven.
That sounds great. I don't think Dr. Z is as happy as you are about the snow. She's in Chicago. How you doing, Dr. Z?
It.
Well, it's been awfully cold here. If you guys caught that Packer Bears game, it was been rough.
I am not looking. Well, I'm looking forward to heading to the Midwest tomorrow, but not so much the weather. All right. Well, let's kick things off with the first whistle. Dr. Z, start us off.
Awesome. Well, I think we could talk about Ty Montgomery in any or all of our upcoming segments.
Forever.
All day.
Yeah, all day long. But I think he absolutely deserves the first word after just running all over the Bears to the tune of 169 yards and 2 touchdowns on Sunday.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Never a wide receiver again. He is a full running back.
I mean, he actually looks like a brilliant seasoned rusher out there. Yes. Like whenever Mike McCarthy deigns to give him the football, he looks amazing. Like the patience
he has such fight. Like breaking the tackles just gives me life.
Yeah. He'll break like 6 tackles and get a touchdown when it should have been a loss of 2. I mean,
didn't he have like a breakaway for like 60 yards?
Yes, that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Like we've never seen this as Packer fans. And
what's a running game?
Yeah, I was sitting there watching and I was like, oh my God, I felt like so jubilant.
Oh yes.
And then I thought to myself, this must be what it feels like to have a good running back. Like it's kind of like if you've never been in love before and then suddenly you're in love and it's like, oh my God, this is what the big deal was about.
I think the only thing we need, the only way he's not perfect is just to punch in those goal line stands because he's not as big as Eddie
Lacy.
A
little guy, but
he was. Before this week we had only Ripkowski had 2 touchdowns, rushing touchdowns, and Rodgers had 1, and Ty, almost matched those.
But I think it's great. It's like we have Ty, and then we just get Ripkowski to punch it in at the end.
Yeah, exactly.
My only concern is I just don't understand why Mike McCarthy got away from him, a few weeks ago and leading up until this past week. I mean, Starks has always been a backup. Christian Michael, I mean, you can't just get a guy on a free agency and expect him to be a superstar. Like Mike, I just don't even know if he wants to win sometimes. It seems like obviously Monty is our best player aside from Rodgers, and we need to, ride him all the way to the championship game and no more.
I was like, Monty Ball? He's not a a cute
Monty.
Nickname for Montgomery. I like.
We've been calling him Ty or Monty. Like
that's cute.
In the office.
Montgomery Bay.
Yeah.
We cut into your first whistle, but we just got a lot to talk about, especially when it's the Packers. Do you have anything else, Dr. Z, or is it Allie's turn? Okay, Allie.
Going along with that, holy New York Giants defense.
Yep.
The Giants came through for us Packer fans when we needed them the most to deal the Detroit Lions a loss. Finally. Oh my God. I was watching the Packer game, but I was just as much watching the Lions game. And it was beautiful. This means that the Packers control their own destiny for playoff hopes. I don't know if the New York Giants strategy is just to play insane defense and just have one amazing Odell Beckham play. We might see an improbable Super Bowl run again, which of course brings back bad memories for us in our 15-1 season. But the Giants are weird. It's like they don't seem like they're like a superstar team, but they just sort of do what they need to do on defense, and Odell Beckham gets a touchdown, and that's how they win.
And
one good player. That's all they need in their defense.
Exactly.
So I didn't actually prepare first whistle, except I did because surprise. No, you guys, Kenneth Dixon got a touchdown this last week.
Yes,
like right at the end. He had like 2 or something or negative most of the game, and then he got that touchdown at the end. I was actually starting him in one league, so
Yeah, well, you started Dixon.
I did, and not in my non-playoff league where we just go by wins.
Yes. Well, I got. Oh yeah. But I gotta say, I mean, spells good things for next season, right? He actually is a decent option if you need somebody if you're in your championship game going
It's
forward.
funny that you say that
probably
because
not.
Dixon, he's like my number one like next year guy. You know how
Yes.
there's certain players like Kristen Michael last year. I don't know, maybe Kristen Michael's a never guy, but I do think Dixon it's going to be next year for him.
I just had to say because I was high on him and I was just really happy to see him
Finally.
to see him finally come through. Okay, that's it, you guys. Let's go into mopes and gloats. Allie, talk to us.
And up for this one.
Get ready. Oh, maybe she'll cut out at this time. That wouldn't be bad.
Here comes Elton. Do. Guys. I couldn't
That was
smoke
worth it.
if I tried.
That was good.
Going to the championship in both of my leagues.
Congrats.
In my league, I was a stone cold killer. I got 160 points. Like, I want to use those points for next week. And what's the best thing is that my opponent dropped Alshon Jeffrey 4 weeks ago for his suspension. Because I get it. I had Alshon Jeffrey in Lady League, and he was nothing but 8 points at most a game, but I picked him up and I played him because Julio Jones was out and he went off for 20 PPR points. So it just goes to show you, do not give up on your babies, because my opponent sent me a message saying beating me with my own drop player, that's cold, and it felt so good.
And you really deserve that because Alshon just basically broke your heart all season. So good on you, Alshon.
I have to say, as a Packer fan, I was kind of like, ugh. But as a fantasy fan, it was just the cherry on top of my journey this season.
Yes.
Also, you know what? I have my own Devontae Freeman.
Yes, another Devontae.
Who balled out for 139 yards, and then DeMarco and Crabtree and Baldwin just all showed up. It was a beautiful thing. Then
that is a beautiful thing.
Going over to,
but I can't see your beautiful face right now, Allie. For some reason,
we can hear you though.
We can hear you, but just so you know.
Girls. Do you see me now?
Yes. Yeah. Welcome back, beautiful.
Sorry, technical difficulties.
It's okay. You're broadcasting from on the road, so we appreciate it.
Exactly.
Yet again.
Appreciate all of you guys. DeMarco, Crabtree, Baldwin, they all showed up. It was, I'm sorry. Going back to Lady League. You guys, are you proud that I took down Dara Saxon the City?
Yes.
It was winning ugly. I have to say, we didn't put up the highest point totals, but I sucked worse than she did. Ezekiel Elliott jumped into the Salvation Army kettle and jumped into my Lady League.
That was my favorite thing that ever happened.
You guys.
I hated it so much.
You did? You hate the Cowboys.
I hated it. And I thought about both of you, and I was like, the girls are going to love that. And I hated it so much.
I sent you guys both the gift. Couldn't resist.
He looked so cute.
It was very cute.
What does he think he is, a leprechaun?
Yes, and I liked it.
Yes, he can be whatever he wants.
You should have an easy win for the Lady League Championship. I don't know who you're facing in your other league.
I'm facing Kaylee, a.k.a. Lambo down to me.
Oh, yeah, in the Lady League.
I can't believe she made it.
Should be an easy victory for you.
Except the fact that she has Rogers and Jordy, and
Oh, that's true. That's how she got me. I mean, that and, things I will discuss.
It's good because at least, I feel like either I'll win or the Packers will have balled out. So
you'll take it.
Either way.
Yeah.
So I'm happy, girls. I'm good.
Good for you. Okay, Dr. Z.
Well,
what are you doing?
First of all, Allie, congratulations. That's all very impressive. I will be rooting for you in the Lady League Championship.
Thank you.
But RZ, let's not let her get Ezekiel Elliott next year. Remember the Adrian Peterson years when she seemed to get AP every single year?
She always got the first pick of the draft.
And then AP went again. He hurt.
I'm gonna stop randomizing the order, and I'm just gonna give.
I had the 5th pick.
Okay, fine.
Well, I do wish I would have taken Ezekiel Elliott over Antonio Brown in hindsight. But I do think
Antonio
Ezekiel
Brown's pretty
Elliott
good.
will be the #1 draft pick next season. At least I'll take him first. I'll let you guys know that right about now. But in regards to my playoff, run, first of all, I'm retroactively moping about losing in the first round of the Lady League playoffs. Basically, my Bay, Melvin Gordon, sprained his hip and knee early in the first quarter in week 14 on this freakish play where Rivers fumbled, trying to throw a forward pass, and Gordon just kind of reacted and covered up the ball. And then the next thing you know, my whole world just kind of went into slow motion. Gordon was like writhing in pain under the pile. He didn't get up. They cut to commercial, and then I had this like feeling of deep foreboding settle on me, and just the whole world kind of slowed down. And then the camera came slowly panning back into the stadium, and that's when I saw the cart, and it got closer. I was like, "Is that the cart? Is that the cart?" As I got closer, I was like, "Oh no, it's the cart!" And
It's the cart.
I have to admit, at that moment, a few tears
Were shed.
down my face. And I knew at that moment my fantasy season was over, at least in the Lady League, but it's mainly for him. I hope he can get back on track, and it's not like any kind of a career, altering injury.
Right, of course.
Is my #1 concern.
It's so, that's where really like fantasy becomes luck, I think, with injuries like that.
Yep.
With one of your beasts,
It happened to me last season with Rowells, and I was out. So, those untimely injuries.
Rawls?
Rowells?
Rawls.
Yeah. Okay.
Not Raoul. Raoul's. It's not a couple of Latino men. It's not Raoul's.
Right.
Okay.
So,
All right.
Anyways.
My poor pronunciation aside, in my other random boy league, the one with all the genital names, I also lost dismally, but I was in second place. So there was a chance I could still get into the playoffs. But then everyone I needed to lose, including Trump for president, won. So I thought I was doomed. And I only had like 60 points. So I figured, Trump was going to catch me on points. But then he needed like 8 points to catch, or 5 points to catch me. And he had his Dallas kicker left. And that was that Giants game last 2 weeks ago where they didn't do anything. And the kicker got 1 point.
Yeah.
So I literally beat him by 4 points for the 4th seed. And I kept him out of the playoffs.
Beautiful.
Yeah, which was amazing. And then I was stuck playing the 1st seed in the semi this past week. This other jerk decided he was going to hoard running backs, like the #2 seed.
God.
He picked up Bibble Powell, and I call him Bibble because I feel Luke and I call him Bibble because his name is like a tongue twister, and Bibble is easier to say. So Bibble, I missed out on Bibble, who I wanted to actually play, and that poor fool filling in for Melvin Gordon, which left me Ty Montgomery. So I didn't even have a question. I was just like, well, I'm obviously going to pick up him, but then I wasn't planning to play him. But I had all this angst about Spencer Ware and Doug Martin's mediocre yards per carry and the tough matchups. So I finally reconsidered, and literally I heard McCarthy say Ty was a running back and Starks was out. I figured, what the hell, at 11:57. I would rather.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I would rather root for Ty Montgomery and lose than have him on my bench.
Yep.
And cry.
Devastated. So I did it. 11:57. That usually never works out.
Yeah, that's a tinker time. That's usually a bad time, but it works.
Really usually bad. But I took into account the sub-zero temperatures in Soldier Field. I finally did something right. I completely demolished my opponent's Redskin laden team. He was starting like 3 Redskins against me, which I don't know why.
Weird.
And now I'm in the championship.
It happens.
Facing off against Lord T. Boneth. So here we go.
Oh God, please win.
I know. I really want to win.
Oh.
We'll see.
For you.
Yes. Okay, guys. So, yeah, it was an off year for me. Okay, it happens. But let this be a reminder to everyone else that maybe didn't have the best season. Sometimes, even if you do all your research and you check the stats and the matchups and the weather reports, and sometimes you still lose. It's just the nature of this crazy game that we love. So don't let the losses get you down. And if you're like me, you're going to start prepping for next year's draft sometime near June. Maybe even sooner. Maybe now.
I have to say, ladies in the Lady League, I nabbed Ty Montgomery on waivers last night. No one else got him.
That's.
No
I
one else
mean,
is
I
playing
wouldn't
for
take
a
him.
consolation game.
No, I
I
don't
wouldn't
care.
take him from you. Yeah, like I left him there. I was like,
There's only 2 people and that are even paying attention to waivers at this point, and one of them already has all the other Green Bay Packers, and I don't know if she knows how to do a waiver.
That's true. I was very excited to nab Montgomery.
yeah, I wouldn't have taken him from me because that would have felt like I was
Yes,
sabotaging.
Sabotage.
Yeah,
I
wouldn't do that.
appreciate that.
Yes, and to
That'd
be
be
fair,
cool.
I did almost make the playoffs in my dude league. I had to beat. So I was number 6. I needed number 5 seed to lose, and then I was playing the number 4 seed. But I needed to beat him by 50 points, and I beat him by 30. So like I really did hit my stride at the right time. It just I had a slow start.
You did, and
It was never again
one
draft.
more game. It would have been enough.
Never again draft 2 at the same time, and
Yes.
because I managed my way somewhat back. Anyways, enough moping from me. Let's get into other winners and losers of the fantasy playoffs. That's week 14, 15, 16, all of it. Some of them are moping, I'm sure. Some of them are gloating. Running backs, Dr. Z.
Well, again, poor Melvin Gordon is the biggest loser of the fantasy playoffs because of going down in the first quarter in that crucial game, which crushed many a playoff dream. Not to take away from his season, which obviously was amazing. Now, there has been some buzz that Melvin Gordon could return in week 16. Nobody wants that more than me. He's still on my one remaining team. But so far, I'm very skeptical. He didn't practice yesterday or today. And the Chargers are out of the playoffs, so they really have no reason to risk him and rush him back. So I really would rather just, in a way, just see them sit him. I don't want him to re-injure anything. But keep monitoring the situation. But I'd hate to have somebody start him and then, they're, have him get like 10 carries or something. So that's the other thing. But I don't even think he's going to play, to tell you the truth. Lamar Miller, on the other hand, should play this week. He has a pretty good matchup against the Bengals. And then as far as winners and losers, David Johnson had a poor showing last week, but if you survived it with him like I did and made it to the next round, he's back to full form, and you're definitely starting him. But Devontae Freeman took the top spot in fantasy in week 15 with a whopping 3 touchdowns and 139 yards. Man, anybody that believers in Freeman definitely paid off for them this past week. Elliott, the bane of my existence, McCoy, and randomly Ryan Matthews also had top 6 performances.
Wow, Ryan Matthews.
Yeah, I know. I dropped him so long ago. I don't regret it because he's a good team. Yeah,
no, I think you're right.
But anyway, Bibble also, for those of you that don't know, Bilal Powell. See, I can't even say it. Bibble. We're gonna stick with that. Should have saved could have saved a few people's matchups with his 162 combined yards. And that's all I got.
Allie, what do you have?
Yes. Well, I'll of course talk about our dear Packer receivers. I think we can all agree after maybe some slow starts that Davante Adams, even with a down week in the cold, and Jordy Nelson came out as some fantasy studs.
Yes, and I'm just going to interrupt you for 1 second. And we were talking about this before we started the broadcast, but loved to see Davante Adams, even after a couple drops, Rodgers going right back to him as if to say, I trust you, man. I got you. And got him involved.
Rodgers loves
the
him.
Relationship. It just shows how tight they are that he would go back to him after 2 missed touchdown catches.
Those were brutal. And, they broke my heart.
And I think, Rodgers has faced some scrutiny from ex-Packers this year. And I think a lot talks about, his relationship with wide receivers. So it's just a warm Christmas tale for me to see him go back to Davante and to say, like, I trust you. And Davante, get a beautiful 17-yard catch and then some. Yeah. So that was really great for us.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. It was
no, I'm with you.
A Christmas moment.
I was shedding a tear during that moment. Like, he went back to him. Yes. On the other side of that, we love him so much, but Randall Cobb is a bit of a bust this year. I think he makes a lot of big plays during game, but they don't really translate to fantasy very well. He doesn't see the end zone this year.
I dropped him in my league where my team name, it's actually the league that I'm in, that I'm going to the championship. I named my team Chupacabra, and I actually dropped him last week because I had to make room. And I'm keeping my name because I don't want to jinx myself, but.
Yeah, no, that's fine. And then, you know what? It wasn't easy with Alshon Jeffrey, but he really came through when I needed him this week, as I mentioned earlier. And then I'm going to celebrate the kickers because I think in the Lady Lead video cast, we love to celebrate our kickers. Justin Tucker, Matt Bryant were kicker all-stars. Bryant had 151 fan points all year. Tucker had 156. And you know, people kind of always say, you know, you draft your kickers last, but when you have your kickers kind of getting you 13, 15 points every week, it really makes a difference. At least it did for me.
Yes, but again, you still draft your kicker last because it's not very consistent season to season. So you still, I say, draft your kicker last, but.
No. I agree. You draft them last, but you're happy when it works out.
Yes, agreed.
I stream kickers and defense and sometimes tight ends.
Well, that's why you had the most. You get the Lady League award for most waivers.
Yeah, for most waiver activity.
Yeah.
I checked and I had the most activity in all of my leagues.
Yes,
like
not surprising.
Yeah, obviously.
What else? What else you got, Allie? That's it?
I think that's it for me.
Oh, I love it. Okay, I'm going to talk about some QBs a little bit. We got to give some love where love is due. And all this talk of Rodgers and his personal issues or blah, 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 whatever. Rodgers is the overall fantasy leader for QBs on the season. So, you know, praise the man, the myth, and the legend. And not just
cast.
And he's calling his shot like he does.
He calls the shot. So he is hobbling a little bit right now, which did contain him last week on some plays that he would have made had he been 100%. But he still was the one of the top scoring, if not the top scoring quarterback last week. I don't know my stat. I don't have it on there, but definitely number one on this season. So he's currently listed as questionable for the Christmas Eve matchup with the Vikings, but it's a must-win for the Pac's playoff hopes. So I think he definitely starts. Maybe if it's a blowout, he doesn't finish, but I just think it's too. I think it's too important for the Packers. Yeah. So that you're playing Aaron Rodgers even with a hurt calf. He is definitely a start. He's definitely going to be a stud. So just talking about the season, rounding out the top three for the season with QBs are some familiar names. We got Drew Brees, who leads QBs in scoring in his big week 15 with 4 touchdowns and 389 yards. And then Matt Ryan coming in third for the season so far. But it was a different Matt who came in second in scoring in week 15. Matt Moore. Wait, who? Yeah, Tannehill's backup threw for a career best 4 touchdowns, but I'm pretty sure none of you have him in the championship or need him to play next week. Which, if you did, I wouldn't. He's got a tough road matchup against Buffalo next week.
My 2 quarterbacks are Matt Ryan and Aaron Rodgers, so I'm glad to hear you say so.
Look at you go. That's why you're in your championships. Okay, guys, it's time for Bay of the Week. Let's do it. Dr. Z, some familiar names there?
Yeah, well, first off, I'm very excited for that Vikings game because RZ and I actually get to watch that game together with our whole crazy
Packer-loving family.
Yes, and
it's cute.
Very rowdy, so I'm really excited for that. Anyways, my bae, who I keep mentioning, is obviously Ty Montgomery for being both a dynamic and exciting player and reviving my excitement in the Green Bay Packers season and also my will to play fantasy football. I needed something like magical to happen, and it did.
Yeah, and you did.
My message to Mike McCarthy is please take your foot off the brake with this kid. What are we waiting for? The time is now.
He's going.
Mike McCarthy, you're not our bae. Not our bae. Okay, Allie, who's your bae?
Yes, and I will be drinking some Mai Tais, also rooting for Ty Montgomery. But no, of course, my Bay of the Week is Ezekiel Elliott. For one, your Salvation Army bucket maneuver, adorably perching yourself inside of it.
So
and
cute.
You know what? if he takes
Leprechaun.
me all the way this weekend, I may donate some of my Lady League winnings to the cause.
Well,
Oh,
he probably will. I mean, this is the one player that's never let you down. Like,
He's
you know,
been
David
amazing. And I
Johnson
have to
let
say
us
a little
down
bit
in
of
week 15,
drafting lore.
14.
I had my cursor. I was about to draft David Johnson, but my internet cut out for a while. So my original pick was Ezekiel Elliott, and that's what my cursor was on. So all of a sudden the internet went out and it came back and I drafted Ezekiel Elliott and I was like, no, I wanted David Johnson, but
the interwebs are on your side.
Seriously,
That's
they're
right.
close. I mean, they're close in as far as how many points they got this season, but
no,
But it's
that's
also
right,
risky, always risky to draft
Take
a
a rookie.
rookie running back.
A
It
rookie.
always
Could've
freaks me
went-
out. Every time I've done it,
Monte
I
Ball.
regret it.
Gordon
Melvin
last year.
Gordon. I
Yes.
took him
Sometimes
took
they
him.
need to be seasoned for a year.
Yeah.
So
a season for a season.
yeah.
So I got Zeke the Freak for my bay.
Oh, that's a little freaky. Okay.
I cringe.
I really do love both those bays because the Salvation Army thing was my favorite. Like maybe
so good.
besides the Packers win, my favorite part of Week 15.
Yes.
And I just loved it. So, but you know what? Brandon Cooks is my bay because in the last 4 weeks he had his worst single game performance and best single game performance. He was shut out in Week 12.
Yep.
Big old goose egg, all the way to a career high in Week 15. It's like a mini comeback story of the season, and we're all about our season awards. And so, Brandon, you're my
That's
bae
right.
for comeback story of the last 4 weeks. And you guys, before we
Yes.
head into our next segment, which is the Lady League Awards, we have to do one award for Bae of the Season. If you guys have any nominees, I imagine Dr. Z's vote would be for Melvin Gordon, otherwise known
Obviously.
as Babo Baggins.
Stop.
Babo Baggins.
Babo Baggins.
I hate you guys.
But do you have any nominees, Allie?
Elliot, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say I cut you off. I was
Adams?
gonna say nominate Devontae Adams
Yeah,
because
he's a good one.
Yes.
his name was
Here's
so
the thing,
cute.
Devontae is not on my team, but I just think his story is so beautiful.
We just
and
were.
I met him, so I'm a little partial myself.
That always helps. Yeah. Well, we had lots of bays this season, so if you were a bay,
Yeah, if any of you guys
Give
out
us a
there
call.
had like a player
Holler.
that was close to your heart, please let us know.
yes, let us know.
We'll give them a
So
shout.
let's get into the Lady League Awards. We have well, here's the thing. When Colleen first joined fantasy football, as you guys can imagine, she came with a vengeance. And so her first year in the Lady League, my Christmas present to her was a Fantasy Football Rookie of the Year hoodie.
Aw.
And then Colleen and I, or Dr. Z, excuse me, we were both featured in the business journals in this like front page or like article about women playing fantasy football and taking over the world of fantasy football. And then it got misprinted, right? Colleen?
Yeah, they called me the Fantasy Football Avenger, and there's this whole big scandal I won't get into that
Yeah, but
occurred.
Didn't they say you were the
misquoted
MVP?
and said that I won Rookie of the Year, and then in my boyfriend's league, because she like substituted from the Lady League to my boyfriend's league because I think she thought, oh, a male league, that's gonna sound better. She just started like making stuff up, and then my boyfriend and all my league mates read it, and they're like, you just lied to the press. Like, they have never let me hear the end of it. To this day, if you ask Luke, he does not believe that was a misquote. He believes I said it and I meant it the way it was printed.
No,
So that's
you're fine.
tough for me, but it's pretty funny also.
It's funny. It's funny. So in honor of that, we as the Lady League want to actually give out a Rookie of the Year award. So Dr. Z, please, as never having won this honor, you still get to give it out. So do the
Great.
honors.
Okay. Well, the Rookie of the Year award this year goes to someone who started out with your like typical new girl Packer fan draft. I could tell when she sent me her draft that she took Aaron Rodgers in the first round, proceeded to draft like really crappy running backs and wide receivers that eventually had to be dropped and replaced. And like a kicker probably in the 6th. And, she had Seattle defense. She probably took them in like the 5th round. Anyways, it was a disaster. Her league mates were all making fun of her. And I heard from my sister, she's a mutual friend of me and my sister. And I said,
not me, other sister. We've got
other sister. Yeah, we have a lot of sisters. So she started watching the show. She quickly became a student of the game. She was rapid fire messaging me all season. So Stacy Trisco, the winner, she took our advice, but she also did her own research, and she never stopped playing the waiver wire. And even though she started out like lowest of the low based on her draft, she finished in 4th place, and she won in the first round of the playoffs, and she is now on to the 2nd round. So she's still alive. So, and there is actually a prize. Sorry, RZ, I was going to give this to you, but
no, okay, I get it. It's fine.
I'll make you another one. Okay, so this is actually a Packer-themed colored Christmas ornaments.
Oh my goodness. Adorable. Oh my gosh. Congratulations, Stacy, Rookie of the Year. You even got a Packer ornament.
Yeah, and I made it myself.
That is amazing.
So I will ship this out to her. Girl, message me your address and we'll get you your award. So I got a sweatshirt, but you're going to get this fun ornament.
Great. I love it. I love it so much. Anybody else?
Oh, yeah. There's one other person I want to recognize as sort of an honorable mention or like, just kicking ass generally award. Chris Mitchak, who's a colleague of mine. He's going to the championship in this crazy intense league, complete with weekly power rankings. Like whoever wins, that gets the highest score gets to write power rankings for everyone, and they like decimate each other, like make fun of each other in these power rankings. Every single thing costs money. Like to do a waiver costs money. To like it just the list goes on, and the actual prize for first is like $600. This guy never stops proposing ridiculously intricate trade deals. He's just never stops with that stuff, and it's really hilarious. And
That's
then
great.
He's also had this dubious attempt at fantasy football fiction. His latest installment is entitled The Officer Rogers Chronicles 2, The Rogering, The Revenge of Christmas Past, a holiday adventure story.
What?
He writes like a fake crime novel about Aaron Rodgers.
That makes me, I want to read it. I mean, I feel like we should read it on the air. We should read some of his fan fiction.
It was dubious, so I decided to stick with just the title. I can get it if we really want to.
No, let's, I trust your judgment.
But anyway, so Chris is a Bears fan, but Rodgers is his fantasy quarterback, and he really seems to like him.
There you go.
A lot.
You guys, my cat's attacking me.
Your cat is not happy.
My cat named Luke. That's also Colleen's boyfriend's name. Oops. Sorry. We're going.
Not happy about that.
It's our last episode, and we're going off the rails a little bit. Did I?
We're going off the rails.
If I started reading the Rogering, we'd really be
off the rails. Okay, so a couple things. Right. Sometimes players deserve some awards. What about biggest fantasy bust this season? I know I would like to nominate Todd Gurley.
It's obviously Gurley, but I think a close second might be Doug Martin. He also really...
And also, I mean, you can't help injuries, but AP, like he went
AP. When he was the first or second pick, like
that's a big bust.
Gurley got picked high, and then you kept, if you drafted him,
you kept hoping.
You had to keep starting him. So
that's almost worse.
It is worse because at least AP you could replace him. He was gone, but like RZ was stuck.
And I just
playing him, hoping.
I would nominate both Cam Newton and Kelvin Benjamin just for kind of disappointing. You go to the Super Bowl. People were drafting Cam as their number one quarter. He was the highest ranked quarterback in a lot of leagues. I almost drafted him. Thankfully, drafted Rodgers instead. And Kelvin Benjamin let me down. He was not all about the Benjamins this year. So,
no, he was not.
I actually took Cam over Rodgers in my 2-quarterback league, and I deeply regret it. I would probably be in the money if it wasn't for that.
There you go.
What about biggest and best surprise? Like waiver ad that really panned out. My nominee is Jordan Howard because he turned into, like, it's not every day that you can get an RB1 off of waivers. So
Yes.
That's a good one. I think Tyreek Hill at wide receiver.
Yeah.
He's really blown up. I don't know if I'm going to start him in the championship because now you've got Macklin cutting it. He only got three catches or attempts, I guess, last week. So he's kind of going down now, but he definitely saved my season a couple times.
I love it. You guys,
Yeah.
I think this was
And even though-
go ahead.
No, it was only really for 2 weeks. I know Colleen and I both had some beautiful time with Precise on Seattle. He just gave me a nice little 2-week boost when he went off and then sadly got injured.
I forgot all
And-
about him.
It's
Our
long
little
gone.
Precise story.
She's a creature of the moment. She's a fickle-hearted fantasy owner. Hang on. Talk amongst yourselves for a second.
Well, obviously, I mean, we've talked about him enough, but I think Ty Montgomery was a fabulous surprise, but only for people who made it to the playoffs.
Well, that's the thing. It would be like
you.
there's a difference between season long and
yes,
fantasy
exactly.
playoff MVPs. And right now, if Ty Montgomery performs the way he did, even close to what he did last week, he could be my playoff MVP.
That's right.
Like, obviously, you're starting David Johnson, you're starting Elliott. But it's like, how do you get that or replace someone like Melvin Gordon?
She back.
I love it. I love it, guys. Okay, well, this was maybe our longest episode to date because we just had so much fun. Just
Remember, we were going to go real quick today.
Real quick. Oh, quick, easy. No. Once you get us talking about football, we can't stop. So, final whistle, Allie, what is it for the season?
My final whistle is don't give up on your horses. I'm not saying if your players aren't performing that you should start them every week, but keep them on your bench. The Alshon Jeffrey story. You know what? Don't keep them on your bench if you think you might be in the playoffs, or else you're going to be my opponent.
Crying.
And then I pick them up and I put up in your face. In your face.
In your face. All right, Dr. Z, final whistle.
Okay, well, obviously, never stop playing the waiver wire and never give up. But I want just for this advice for this coming week, do not forget there's a Thursday night football game, and then there are actually 12 games on Saturday, which really kills me because I'm probably only going to be able to watch the Packer game, so I'm going to really miss most of football
Christmas
on Saturday.
getting in the way.
Yeah, well, I mean, the presents will console me, I guess, but so only 2 games on Sunday. So your matchup is very likely going to be decided on Saturday. So I recommend that you once you finish up this episode, get to setting your lineup, but be sure to have your phone, check the updates, make sure it's charged. You might need to make a last minute switch if there's an unexpected, person sitting out. And you also want to be able to surreptitiously monitor your scores during Christmas dinner.
Yes.
So good luck. And, we didn't talk too much about lineup decisions. I think most everybody is kind of set with their guys. But if you do have any questions, PM us and good luck.
Send us questions for lineups. Also, if you have a bay of the season you want to give some love to, some awards, what biggest surprise, whatever you guys want, we want to hear it. We love you. Thank you for watching. Happy holidays. Happy
we had so much fun. Yeah,
we had so much fun. Happy championship game if you're in it. If you're not, happy playoffs almost for real football. And follow us on social media, and we really plan to next season get a podcast version going so you can listen if you don't want to see our beautiful faces. We're gonna get started early, draft day specials, everything. So Warrior Girls, we got you. We love you.
We'll see you next year.
See you next year. Happy holidays. Bye, guys.
Happy holidays.
Bye, guys.